Black fatigue is when I can hear you 10 miles away in Walmart with your 5 kids. Black fatigue is when you have no home training and you have no idea how to act in public. And a lot of it is culture. I've been in the hood, I've been in the schools and the projects where I was the only white girl there, and I can 100% guarantee you that it's culture. When majority of y'all know someone who has been unalived by another black person, way more than any instance of a black person being unjustifiably unalived by the police, that's black fatigue, as well as donating to Carmelo Anthony and Rodney Hinton Jr. When you aren't able to hold your own community accountable, that's a problem. We're not going to sit here and act like this is new now, because now white people are speaking out. Especially when we've been told for so long to feel sorry for our whiteness, and that we have white tea privilege, whatever the that means, for something no white person alive today did. And no black person alive today has experienced. There is no way that y'all thought that we would be quiet for this long. You know, having us on our knees, kissing BLM's feet, still begging for the reparations that you are not owed because you did not go through what your ancestors went through. Nobody cared about race until you started blaming white people for all of your current problems. We're just untolerating.
The overwhelming majority of comments said that she had a point about things. Now, black fatigue, as you guys read in the title, because I've covered a few videos, obviously this term has been co-opted, for lack of a better term, and the definition has been changed. So for all you guys, gee, that's not what black fatigue means. Well, that's what it means now, what everybody's talking about. All right, so I'm using it in this instance. Black folks are tired of these type of folks as well, these type of black folks, right? But a lot of the things she said, we can agree with. We're tired of this. We don't like seeing this type of stuff. We don't like that type of behavior. But that's not the majority of black folks. What I want to say is that the African American was created by the white man, right? And I'm not about to go off on some liberal side of things with this conversation, but the fact of the matter is you have a people who only been free since the 60s. You can talk about the Emancipation Proclamation and all this other stuff, but really after Jim Crow, it's really been since the late 60s, right? So we have to understand that, right? We're talking about, as a white person, you didn't have these constraints and these laws in place, or you didn't have to have legislation to be considered a citizen. You didn't have to have a civil rights movement. United States was supposed to be a white person's paradise, right? Where you can start over free from religious persecution and whatever your government in your country had going on. You can come here and get a new start, right? And you weren't a second-class citizen, regardless. As long as you had white skin, you were free here. But the black folks, there were laws in place, which I don't know why. And this is the conversation that goes on with white folks, where they say, well, I didn't do that and you didn't have to go through that. But there's still things in place, guys. I could name a bunch of stuff that still goes on. I live in the South, that you can tell where there's no equality. That's why it's important for a lot of times for black folks to develop their own communities, jobs, police their own communities, create their own jobs and things like that without the assistance of the white man. And that way you have a thriving community and hold your people accountable, right? The way she's talking as if white people don't commit any acts of homicide, violence, and